In the words of a 21st century philosopher, the Hilltoppers feel like they are back to reality. After a trip to Ruston, Louisiana that I'm sure involves some pretty darn good barbecue, WKU comes back to Bowling Green looking for some home cooking. What he is concerned with is getting the attention of his teammates. Even if they're all the way across the field.
Well, a nice golf clap to Jared Dangerfield for 8 for 117, but he didn't even lead the team in receiving.
The consensus was clear after a 77-61 victory on senior night. TJ Price, Trincy Jackson, well, they said they went out in style. Points, oh so many points, before they venture back here to the Nick, where they have a 3-game series looking for their 3rd series victory in Conference USA. So for Diddle to become a daunting place to play once again, WKU will have to improve on the less than 4,000 fans it averaged in recent memory. In Birmingham, Alabama, in Huntington, West Virginia, at EA Diddle Arena, for the Extra Point, I'm Josh Holland. In his 4th season on the Hill, TJ Price has a different vision offensively.
Letting everything come to me, really not just trying to force things and go out and prove anything with, crazy shots, making crazy shots.
He's known for his 3-point shot, and that's coming soon. But that's not where Price's game starts.
You pay attention. I don't really like to come off right off the back and shoot a 3. I like to get a layup or go to the free throw line. That was another thing I used to do last year too. Instead of just taking my man on the drive to score or either kick for my teammate, I would settle for the 3 a lot, and that's something that I'm trying not to do much this year.
Taking simpler shots led Price to the top of the standings for scores in Conference USA. This season he takes less 3s per game, but makes more. He's more efficient in his senior year, but as far as shots go, simpler doesn't always mean shorter.
The only thing hard for me about shooting is I can't shoot close up on the line. Like, for some reason, it bothers me for some reason. That's why everybody be like, oh, you shooting too far.
So, back to that 3-point shot. Heading into his final weekend at home in a Hilltopper uniform, Price still remembers one of his biggest 3s, a game winner his freshman year against Arkansas State. But it wasn't the shot from the corner that stood out the most to him.
Lil was a senior, and he had a wide drive. He could have went down. He could have made the layup himself, but instead he kicked it out to me when I was right up in the corner and went for the game-winning shot instead of tying up.
This weekend, there's a chance TJ does what Khalil did and passes up a good shot for a great one. But if he rises and fires from behind that line, there's also a 41% chance that he will add on to his Hilltopper record for 3s made in a career. For the Extra Point, I'm Josh Holland.
They're good for all day.
Okay.
Come and go on at one time.
Well, first of all, just having these events in terms of prestige is great, but then, the money, that helps, all of our businesses, as well as, it puts money in our city coffers as well, in terms of tax base.
Now, there are different ways to gauge effectiveness, but when the Birmingham Visitors Bureau estimated the impact of the 2015 Conference USA tournament, it certainly was quantifiable at almost $10 million.
It's a significant economic impact, for our community. Basically, any money spent when you're here. So, you mentioned hotels, certainly when you go out and eat, go to a restaurant, bar, or, spend money on gas.
With restaurants and 2 hotels surrounding the basketball arena, the block is laid out so that fans can make their economic impact in various ways.
And this is why this complex and this area is so, so interesting and so cool, because, the BJCC and its arena, drives a lot of our traffic down.
During this specific weekend, the Alumni Association of Western Kentucky preserved the Todd English Pub 2 hours before tip-off of their evening games. Gatherings such as that spike profits for the restaurant while forcing certain adaptations.
It can be the difference between $4,000, $5,000, $6,000. It really depends per day. Having an event in and out menu, for example, and we can say to our guests, like, if you've got to be at the game or if you've got to be anywhere within 30, 45 minutes, choose these things from the menu. It will be, a benefit to you to do so.
After fans leave the restaurant and they have just a few dollars left in their wallet, they somehow seem to lose it. On the way, the Birmingham Jefferson Convention Center.
I need 4 tickets to the WKU game.
$88.
Stadium goers can spend money on tickets, team merchandise, and concessions. But the evidence lies in an item that can't be found next to the popcorn and pretzels.
You know, really the proof will be in the pudding as far as attendance.
With the UAB men's team advancing to the championship round, patrons packed the arena for 3 consecutive nights, sending more bucks to the city of Birmingham and something else to the people in the city.
Having great championship basketball in our town, you know, I think that adds to our quality of life, and you know, people just enjoy having big events in Birmingham because we're a really sports enthusiastic town.
For the Extra Point, I'm Josh Holland. Kentucky men's basketball faces 1 and maybe 2 more opponents this weekend after beating one and slaughtering the other. We're going to start with West Virginia, where poor Bob Huggins has no clue what awaits for his Mountaineers. Mid-first half, Trey Lyles in the right corner drives in and then decides to back it up and dump it right into the rim, falls on the ground. Hey guys, help me up. Got a free throw to hit. On the opposite end, Lyles now defensively. Mountaineers pass it into Billy D. Williams, Lyles, and Cauley Stein. Here's it in slow-mo. They tell Billy D to Billy don't. Stein had 3 blocks in the game. Now in the second half, Kentucky up an absurd 30 points. Now make it a ridiculous 35 with that lob to Stein above the rim. Fast break once more because why not? Andrew Harrison around the back off the glass. It falls. Now Harrison, the trick here is when you don't look at the basket. Now you can look, and hopefully Harrison's watching the show so he can see the highlight the second time, but that would lead Kentucky to go on to win 78-39. 2 days later, the Cats matched up with a slightly more formidable opponent in the Irish of Notre Dame. Starts off, hey, it's Lyles again. From the elbow from Carl Anthony Towns, Lyles throws it down. Opposite end, Pat Connaughton, he knows that when you shoot behind that line, you get more points. 11-10, his team up by 1. Notre Dame still with the basketball. Connaughton driving. He's not going to make it, but he gets cleaned up. It's March, but that's Zach August. Zach August had 20 points and 9 rebounds. Kentucky doing what Kentucky loves to do, dunk the basketball. Cauley Stein, once again, we keep saying his name, and then he knocks the ball out of bounds. Notre Dame attempted to defeat Cauley Stein by forcing Wildcat turnovers. They forced 11 of them. Here's Bonzi Colson off the glass. Watch for the chest bump. Colson is excited, and so are the Notre Dame fans. But Kentucky answers Colson by doing what they do, whether it's the end of the first half or the second, they hit shots. Kentucky would go on to win 68-66 due to their team's optimistic outlook.
Never on, we may lose. My whole mindset all the time is how are we going to win? How do we win this game? And that's all I keep saying to myself, how do we win the game? And I want them to know we're not playing not to lose. We play to win.
Wisconsin and Kentucky are set to square off against each other in Game 2 of the Final Four in Indianapolis. The two teams are looking to get past one another to get to the NCAA championship. Pressure to handle Willie Cauley-Stein and Karl Anthony Towns will likely rest in the hands of big old Badger Frank Kaminsky. The Harrison twins' job is also set for Kentucky, as the duo will have to deal with tall guys Sam Decker and Nigel Hayes, both who shoot above 30% from three-point land. Opening tip for that game is set for Saturday at 8:50.
Honestly, can't answer that for you, but what I did see answered on Friday was what happens when an unstoppable offense meets another unstoppable offense. Now, after an interception by Brandon Leston, WKU and Brandon Doughty found Leon Allen for 17 yards and a score. His only reception touchdown, but he'd have another one. We'll show you that just later. WKU scored 14 points in 35 seconds, and then another possession later. Brandon Doughty, they're just so impatient. He only wanted to use one play, and his buddy, Taywon Taylor, obliged. 75 yards on that play, and he's going to scamper across the end zone right past the Marshall defender. And the herd called, and Western answered. Doughty moving that pocket one more time to Dangerfield. Back at the end zone, he had 2. He only needed 1 foot down. That's selfish. Now the Tops just need an extra point.
The WKU soccer team has a lot of new faces this season. Reporter Dakota Sherrick takes a look at how these new members have given this year's roster a historical impact. Now, Doug doesn't just stick to being a drummer. He also sings for a group in Bowling Green. You can find them and their music video by searching Southbound 65 on YouTube. Generally, Smith Stadium prepares for 2 teams every weekend, but tomorrow they welcome in 12 schools over a 2-day stretch. Now, I'm looking at myself and I'm thinking, they're a little bit stronger than I am, but that's because Julie Holt and other of the CrossFit athletes from old school are pumping up to compete in Reebok's Master Qualifier Tournament in April.
we do a lot of tandem jumps with all sorts of people, and we're honored to do it, and it's going to be a great day for him. He's going to see how Army strong he is.
I trust these guys entirely, and they're veterans, and I'm a rookie, but it's okay. I'm just going to follow instructions and enjoy the leap.
What the guys do is they prepare their parachutes, they attach flags to them, which represent the school or an event that we're doing there.
We all got a little handshake and a little chant that we do.
Out of the gold in the black, once you let ever back, who? The Golden Knights!
For the tandem, somebody has to get out and see exactly what the winds are doing from the point that he's going to exit all the way to the ground.
This is the United States Army, the best in the world, and the veteran that'll be strapped to my back knows exactly what he's doing. I'm following his lead. I make no decisions coming down. I'm just along for the ride, but what an amazing experience it'll be.
We've put millions of dollars into all these roofs, and that's the first time I had a chance to see them all.
Well, I understand, sir. We're going to be getting out at about 4,000 feet. We're going to simultaneously exit each door. We're going to set up an accuracy stack, and the goal is to land 10 seconds apart from everybody.
I cannot be more proud to represent WKU and bring this game ball into Houchin Smith Stadium.
I'm cold, but you had to be cold jumping out of that airplane.
Well, I tell you what, when you're falling at 150 miles an hour, you don't worry about the cold.
This is a tribute to our ROTC cadets at WKU, to the United States Army, and to all of our military personnel who protect our freedoms and allow us to enjoy the best quality of life on the face of the earth.